Hello there, and a very happy new year to you. Welcome to Hard Copy, the program where we bring you the people behind the news. I'm Maokbe Ogun. In the first part of our youth series, which we did to coincide with the end of the year, we struck a reflective note urging young people to think more about Nigeria's future, realizing that the decisions which move any country forward ultimately rest in the hands of political leaders. But what are some of the hurdles young people must cross to be a part of this? A report from the United Nations Development Programme says people under the age of 35 are rarely found in formal political leadership positions. In a third of countries, eligibility for national parliament starts at 25 or higher, as in Nigeria, and it's common practice to refer to politicians as young if they're below the ages of 35 to 40 years of age. Well, tonight, in the final part of our interview with Tony Ahilebo and Ismail Ahmed, we ask if bills like the Not Too Young to Run bill, which is currently before a Constitution Review Committee in the National Assembly, will make any difference. This bill, the Not Too Young to Run bill that, a lot of young people felt was also, we felt that the legal requirements was also a hindrance of some sort. To be president, you're asking that, it be brought down to 30 years. To be governor, they're asking it be brought down to 30. For the Senate, they're asking to be brought down to 30. House of Reps, they want 25. And State House of Assembly, they're also asking for 25. How much of an impediment do you think that the legal requirements are?
I think that is a significant milestone if we're able to achieve that, to reduce the number. Not necessarily because there will be a lot of 25-year-olds who are going to run for that office or who necessarily have the financial muscle to go into that. But the fact that you bring it down, the fact that I know that I'm 30 today, I can run for president or I can run for a senator, just does a lot of things for your psyche. But once you put it, like I said, my definition, my own personal definition of what a young person is someone who, from the age of voting in your constitution to the age that you can run for president. That is when you consider. So if that age could be brought down to 35 or 30, fantastic. That is what the youth would be. And then it propels the younger people to be able to not necessarily run for that office, but it just gives us a sense of responsibility that at the age of 25 or 30, your mate can easily become this and that. And then you're no more a kid that you think that you can still sit in your father's boys' quarters.
Tony, do you agree with him?
Well, to a large extent, yes. When you talk about Not Too Young to Run bill, I agree. In passing the bill, yes, but there are other things that will make it work. Okay, so you're looking at party election financing. Is it feasible for young people to be able to afford the cost of running for a particular office? Do you think that in the Nigeria of today, and with the costs of running an election, that a young person will be able to run? You asked a question that I want to go back to. Like, is it easy to keep a job and participate in politics? How many people are employed in the formal sector? The federal government has only 87,000 workers. And that's less than 0.003% of the population. So it's a really restricted number of people. So where are the rest of the people? What are they doing? Why are they not participating? So it really goes back to the question of what is the perception people have of politics? How do we convince them that politics is about their livelihood, it's about their everyday life, and that they need to take an interest in this politics? We need to get a lot more young people in APC, a lot more young people in PDP, and every other party that there is, so that these people can be part of the decision making as a whole.
Now let's talk a little more about independent candidacy. One of the things that this bill is proposing is independent candidacy. You've talked about political parties, young people joining political parties to run. A lot of young people believe, when we talk about the reasons why people are not joining political parties, first of all, aside from the fact that they consider politics dirty, they also think that in some instances, there's so much work to be done within the political parties, and perhaps they will always never, be able to rise through the ranks. How much how much freeing up the space do you think that independent candidacy is going to bring on board? Do you think it's going to make any difference?
Yeah, I think it is going to make a lot of difference. First of all, I used to be of the opinion that there shouldn't be excessive pluralism in multi-party democracy, because I always believe that that some parties are just established purposely to become a hindrance to the electoral process. For example, if there is an election and then there's this party X, B, Z that comes out and says that this thing is wrong or this is right. This is probably going to happen with independent candidacy as well. A lot of lawsuits for no reason to stop Tony Ahile's party from getting point A or point B. There could be that, but I think there should be that opportunity, because democracy is about multiple participation of people. And if there are people that feel that they don't want to be in a political party, that they have the necessary instrument and the gusto to go it alone, especially in local elections, why not? Even in federal elections.
Do you think that the structure of political parties are somewhat a hindrance?
Well, to some people they are. To some people they will tell you that they don't want to get into this political party because of these strange bedfellows that are coming in or that thing. They give you all kinds of excuses. Well, these people, we don't know them. They give you all kinds of excuses. But like what Tony is saying is that if only 87,000 people are employed at the federal level, for example, and then there are so many other people who are civil servants at the state level as well. But given that the whole civil service structure in this country, I'm sure it's not more than 2%. I'm sure.
Civil service, you're not counting the private sector.
I'm not counting the private sector. And then you include that, how many percentage are they? At the end of the day, what you have is that people simply do not want to participate. Now, some of them that are good enough would give you excuses that they don't want to belong to a political party. They do not believe either in the manifesto of those political parties, and they don't want to go and create their own political party. So, create your own personal manifesto, convince people if you know you have the strength, and go it alone, an independent candidate. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Tony?
Well, one thing it will do is it will spur some sort of internal revolution within the parties. Because you see parties trying to make sure they're more attractive to people. And I think the political parties we have in Nigeria have not done enough to market themselves to Nigerians. And one question you would ask, because he said 2% of people are well, let's look at that as 2%. But what's the percentage of people that voted for our president? We have 170 million or so people in Nigeria. But yet, the number of people that elected president of Nigeria, no more than 29 million people. So that's a question that you need to, it's not even just looking at the parties. You're even looking at the democratic culture of Nigeria. And what has affected our democratic culture is that we've had a lot of interruptions from the military. I think in the last 17 years, and I always tell people, our democracy is still somewhat of a teenager in terms of growth. So we're still developing our democracy. We'll try experimental things like independent candidature. And of course, Ismail just highlighted the issues that might come out from that, because you have multiple litigation. It's very easy for Nigerians to take a good thing and utilize it in a bad way. So that is one fear we may have of the independent candidature, that it might just be utilized the wrong way, tie up the electoral process in litigation, and probably try and upstage it. Now, that's one. But you're never going to
perfect.
be perfect.
Exactly.
You must make mistakes. You must understand and live through these mistakes. I believe that we're evolving democratically. Nigeria is going to get somewhere.
I really do fear. I mean, right now when you picture INEC and you look at how much trouble they have with political parties,
exactly.
I wonder what it will look like when they have to deal with independent candidates. But I think that that's a matter for another day. But
exactly.
The debates will definitely. I mean, it will be debated and it will be weighed, and we'll see how that eventually pans out. But then let us look at involvement. You talked about political parties and how oftentimes you have to fight for. We need to fight for certain things. It will not be allocated to us. Talking about this reminds me a lot of what when women talk about in getting involved in so many things. And I'm wondering, so if you're a woman and you're a young person, you're faced with double jeopardy, it would seem.
Or double advantage.
Or perhaps double advantage. But then how do you think? Because when you ask political parties, one of the things you talk about is we're doing our bit for young people. We're trying our best to encourage and invite young people. They're going to say that. But from what we've seen so far, there's been no political party that has really put that on the top. When the PDP was in power, one of the criticisms that trailed it was that its youth leader was a 60-year-old man.
No, but you know, when we fought that,
yeah,
I'll give credence to the party. The party went out of its way, and when it shouldn't even have, and it got a youth leader, the person Abdullahi Basira, who I give a lot of credit to, brought in a lot of us into the mainstream. Most of the participation I've had in PDP has been due to Abdullahi Basira's insistence that, look, he did as much as he could, but he was limited. He only...
That's a 60-year-old man.
No, he was 30, he was 31.
Okay.
When he was, because Jalo was the guy that was before Abdullahi Basira, and we vehemently resisted him in the party. Now, again, that should tell you that it all depends on the people you have within the party, what they're able to do. I always tell Ismail that what are they doing about?
Well, he's laughing, but the truth is your party has done no better.
He has a 53.
When your party came in, thinking that because a lot of young people were involved in the campaigns, I mean, social media was agog almost all the time, that there will be, you know, greater thoughts towards young people. But aside your appointment and somebody else's appointment, I think it's a lady now, on the BOT of the party, there's been no other mention, even within the ranks of appointment that have been made within this party, in terms of young people, you know, taking offices.
Well, I think, first of all, I think the issue of young people, my position has always been very simple. I think the party has done incredibly well in terms of integrating a lot of young people within the structure of the party, because there are so many structures. First of all, it defined what a youth is within its own constitution, and besides,
and a youth in your party is
besides,
small.
yeah, well, we said anybody who is less than 40, between 18 to 40, and that is because I personally was the one that pushed for it, and then Senator Mamora then was the chairman of the Constitution Review Committee, and we pushed for it for the convention. We said it has to be between the ages that, like I defined it, between the ages that you can vote and the age you can run for president. And besides, my youth leader is not 53. That's his PDP propaganda. He wasn't. The Sukijalo, he was, but it was at the same convention that he was there. Yeah, he was. He's about 43. He's not 53, certainly.
So he doesn't fall within the.
Well, but you see that constitution, that constitution was affirmed and ratified in the same convention that he was elected. So he came in before the constitution was formally ratified, and then we're going to take cue in the next one. But coming back to the main issue here. Yes, the government started off well, and it didn't include a lot of young people in the cabinet. But that is because of what the president has consistently told us. And he said to me that personally, and there's so many other times that we've taken people to him, he said, you know, we cannot afford a lot of ministerial positions, for example. We have to pick one person at a time in the state, as the Constitution requires. And because there are paucity of funds and we have serious issues, and I think we want to run a lean government and more effective government. Would we have loved to see, even in those states, that there are fewer young people that are being carried along? Absolutely. But I think it's a work in progress, and I think it's absolutely in consonance with that fact. The vice president has a lot of aides who are young people around him, people who are manning very important positions. The president as well has a lot of very young people who are his aides and who are manning very important positions and making very important decisions and helping him make very important decisions. For instance, all his media aides, with the exception of Femi Adesina and Gerboshe, who are young people, his personal aide is
all his media. When you talk about media aides, I mean, the media aides I know, I mean,
well, there's Tolu Ogunlesi, there's Bashir Ahmed. These are young people as well. And if you go out to the vice president's office, it's just littered with a lot of young people. But that's not the point. I know that people are looking, but we are not looking for tokenism of just appointments. We are looking for opportunities to be given to young people to be able to grow within this ladder. And this is something, it's a conversation that is ongoing between us and the president and the vice president at the same time. It's something that is going to open up. And I can assure you that, yes, we have not done as well as we thought we should have. That is a given. That is true. But it's something that we're working on, and hopefully we'll get it right.